Hello, welcome to our assembly. I hope you all had a lovely half-term holiday. I probably asked most of you as I saw you on the playground, but I hope you managed to get outside and that the rain didn't keep you indoors too much. The theme for our assemblies, excuse me, the theme for our assemblies this week is going to be staying safe. Now, you will have seen in the news about this big thing called a lockdown, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the lockdown means and how it's going to affect all of us and the sorts of things that we can and can't do and the sorts of things that you can do, because it seems like a really big deal, but there's things that you can do that are going to help absolutely everybody. So we're going to have a look at that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at being part of a team. Okay, we talk a lot about this Wincham anyway. You are part of a team. You're part of a class team. You're part of a family team. You might be part of a football or a netball team. But also, I'm part of a team because I'm part of the staff team. We're all the teachers, all the people who work in the school, the midday assistants, all the people who work in the office, all part of the team together. But also, everybody in the country is part of a team. Okay, we're part of a national team and even a worldwide team, and we're going to work throughout this lockdown to see if we can all stay safe together. So, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to lock down. That means that for a little while, throughout the month of November, from Thursday onwards, there's going to be a lot more staying at home. There's going to be a lot of shops that will be closed. And there's going to be lots of businesses that won't be open. So pubs and restaurants will be closed so that we don't have the chance to catch or spread the coronavirus. Okay, so if we can all stay at home like we did back in March and April and May, then there's less chance of people catching coronavirus, which means that we'll be able to let people get to the doctors, let people get to the hospital, and the people who actually need to be treated can be. Okay, so we're all going to be part of a team. We're all going to have that big effort and we're all going to have to play our part. So we're going to have to think about what the rules are. We're going to have to think about what we can do to stay safe. Now, some of you may have heard lots and lots and lots about this. Your parents may have talked to you lots about it. Some of you may not know anything about it because you've been sat at home reading your book or playing your games or talking to your teddies or whatever. And some of you might have heard lots of things, but mums and dads might not have talked to you about it, or you might have heard bits on the news and you might be a little bit confused because it is quite confusing. So we all know there's this virus called coronavirus or COVID-19, and that lots and lots of people are catching it. And we want to stop that happening. So we're not going to go out. We're going to stay indoors and we're going to follow these rules. And these rules have changed a little bit. And from Thursday of this week, this is what we can do. So everybody is going to have to stay at home, okay? But there's certain things that we can still do. So everybody should be staying at home, but you can still go to school. So for all of us, pretty much we're going to carry on as normal. But mums and dads might be at home a little bit more often. You can still go out for exercise, okay? You can still go shopping. So you can go to the supermarket, Tesco's is still open, but there are other shops that are closed because it's things that are called non-essential. Essential means that you've got to have it. So at the moment, we don't need new clothes because we've got enough clothes, or we don't need, I don't know, fishing nets. So those shops will be closed. And only the things that we need, like the supermarkets, will stay open. Okay, so only the things that we need. If you're poorly, you can still go to the doctor. Now, grown-ups can still go to work, but only if they can't work from home. If grown-ups can work from home, then they should be doing that. And what you might find is that the teachers will be working from home a little bit more often as well. So when the teachers have their time to plan their lessons, when the multiflex teachers are with you, our teachers would normally be in school planning their lessons, but from now on, they'll be working from home. You might see that I'm not in school every day because I'll be taking a little bit of time to work from home as well. And mums and dads might be doing the same. Now, depending on what your mums and dads or other family members do, they might be working from home So you might need to bear in mind that mum and dad are actually sat at their laptop typing and working really hard, or in meetings. But it might be mums and dads are not at work at the moment and just keeping themselves busy at home while you're in school. You can also see someone if you have something called a support bubble. Okay, that's a bit complicated. I'll talk about that one in a moment. So those are the rules. We need to stay at home. Now, it's a little bit more difficult this time because when we did this in March, it was gorgeous weather. It was nice and bright and sunny. So we were able to play in the gardens. This time it's a little bit harder because the weather's a bit grim. It's a bit rainy. I'll look out the window and it's raining now. So we all need to be really, really careful and supportive for everybody that we live with, because it's going to be that little bit more difficult because it's going to be harder to go out for exercise. Okay, meeting with family and friends. Now, these are the kind of tough rules. You can't be indoors with family or friends unless you live with them. That's the big one. So you can't go around to your friend's house. You can't go around to grandma and grandpa's house unless you live with those people. Okay? If mum and dad don't live together and you spend some of the week with mum and some of the week with dad, then you can still move between their houses. That's okay. Now, you might have something called a support bubble. Now, a support bubble is where there's a household with just one adult. So it might be you and your brother and sister and just mum. And because that one adult, that mum, can join with another household. So households with the support bubble can still see each other. Now, that doesn't work for everybody, because if you've got two adults, if you've got mum and dad living together, you might not have a support bubble. Okay? If you have a support bubble, you can visit each other, stay overnight, and visit outdoor places together. Okay? So that's usually so that people can look after each other. Now, you can go out and exercise. You can visit outdoor spaces with the people that you live with, or your support bubble, or one person from another household. Just one. Okay? So the support bubble can be, like we said, one person from another household is just one person, not mum and your friend. It's just one person, but you can go anywhere. You can go to a park, you can go to the playground, you can go to a garden, you can go to the woods, the beach, whatever. But we are supposed to be staying at home. So we shouldn't be going out for the day. We shouldn't be going off on big days out. We should be staying as close to home and not going out at all if we can help it. But you can't meet in someone else's garden. Okay, so you can't be indoors with family and friends. You can't be in somebody else's garden. Those are the rules. Now, they're a bit difficult. They're not easy because it's things that we don't want to do. We want to go around to each other's houses. We want to see our friends. But just for this month, we all need to be part of that team and we all need to try this together. So what can we all do? It sounds like it's really big stuff. It sounds like there's lots of stuff for the grown-ups to do, but there's actually things that we can do that are going to help us all and help everybody in the country. So that's what we're going to look at now. Now, you might have seen pictures like this. You might have seen this message that says hands, face, space. Okay? So we need to stay safe when we're outside the home. And you might have heard the phrase social distancing. Okay? So hands bit, we know about our hands. We can use sanitizer, or we can wash our hands for a full how many seconds? That's right, 20 seconds. Okay. You can also make sure that if you're out, or particularly parents are out, they are wearing a face mask. And you've seen all of the adults who bring people into school in the morning wearing face masks. You've seen adults in shops wearing face masks. You've seen the teachers at school. You've seen me wearing my face mask. It's really, really important that you cover your face, and particularly your nose as well, not just your mouth. So your nose gets covered as well, so that any virus particles don't get breathed out on people. And finally, the social distancing part of it is to do with space. Okay? It's really, really important that when you're outside the house, you keep 2 meters apart from other people. Now, because of the way we work in school, because of all of the extra bits of hygiene that we've got, all the extra cleaning, all the times you use sanitizer, that rule doesn't apply in the classroom. Okay, so we're not so worried about distancing in the classroom because we know that children in primary schools play together. Okay, but it's certainly very, very important with people in the street, in the supermarket, anybody else outside. Okay, so that's really, really important stuff. And if we can all do that, if everybody does that, we can all be part of that whole country team to keep each other safe, and that's protecting each other. Okay, so when some of you have visited me in my office recently and you've shown me your work, you've been absolutely brilliant because you passed the book to me, passed your work in your book to me, and then you've taken a step back and we've kept 2 meters apart so that we're all safe. And then afterwards, I've given you your book back, you've tucked it under your arm, and we've sprayed our sanitizer on our hands, both you and me, to make sure that we're keeping safe as well. Right, next thing, what else can we do? This is really important stuff. Help at home, think about the grown-ups. Now, what might happen is that after you've seen some of this, you'll feel a little bit better because you'll go, oh, that's what they're talking about. Well, you might already know all of this because you're a clever clock, so well done. But grown-ups might have lots of worries. The grown-ups might be a little bit concerned about how to stay safe, or they might be concerned about work and things like that. And people might be a little bit worried. And if that's the case, you can help. You can help at home by being ultra amazingly good. Okay, and it's not just making sure that you do the dishes or tidy up after yourself. It's about being considerate for the parents, the grown-ups that you live with. Okay, if mum and dad say you need to turn the telly off now or you need to stop playing Fortnite, then instead of going, oh, I don't want to, and ignoring them and shouting, you say, yeah, all right then. Even if you don't want to, because it's making sure that everybody lives in that peaceful environment, because everybody's a little bit more worried, everybody's a little bit more stressed. So if you can help out by not adding to those sorts of worries, it makes life easy for the grown-ups that you live with. Work hard and enjoy being at school, because if there's all these other things going on at home and you can't go out of the home, you can't go see your friends, you can't go to the cinema, you can't do whatever else you might be doing, come into school. Enjoy being in school because you get to see your friends. You get interesting lessons about polar explorers or about dragons or whatever it is that you're learning about. So enjoy being in school because there's lots and lots of wonderful opportunities. And that links to the next one. Practice being grateful for the good things in the world. So right now, I'm grateful because I've got a nice cup of coffee. Oh, that's really lovely. And I'm just taking a moment to think, do you know what? I'm really glad I've got that nice cup of coffee. You can be grateful for all sorts of other things and just take a moment. So I took a moment when I was on the playground at lunchtime. I looked up at the trees just for a second and thought, do you know what? That's a beautiful colour. And then I had a chat with someone else, and it was nice to talk to some of the other children, and that was really lovely. And then I had a chat to Mrs. Sims, and that was really nice as well. And then I had a chat with Mrs. Spruce, and I thought, do you know what? I've seen something nice. I've spoken to wonderful people. So actually, it's really quite cool. And if you keep doing that, if you keep stopping and thinking, yeah, okay, there's some good things that have happened, then it makes you a little bit more cheery. And sometimes we might feel a little bit down if we can't see our friends, or we might be a little bit sad if we can't go out when we want to. But actually, if we take the time to stop and think, do you know what? I may be indoors, but I'm sat on a comfy sofa, snuggled up to mum, or I'm in my bedroom and I've got my Xbox and I've got my stories that I like to read and I've got some comics. You know what? This is okay. So we can make sure that we feel all right. And the final one, and I know I keep banging on about this, but it's dead important, is practice meditation, practice breathing. Now, in class, you'll be doing different types of meditation, but the one that I keep coming back to is a finger breathing, where we breathe in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and out. And if you keep doing that, if you practice that every day, what it does is it gets more and more oxygen in your brain, okay? More of the oxygen from the air into your brain. And what that will do is, if you practice it, and if you keep doing it, so just doing in, out, in, out, in, out, won't work. But if you keep going again and again, and it might be 3, 4, 5 times that you do it, it will calm you down if you're worried, okay? Stops you feeling panicky. So it's a really, really good technique, a really good strategy to use. So there's lots of things there. If you're feeling a little bit worried, you can do. There's lots of things there that you can do as part of a team to help other people. There's lots of things that will help to make you feel better. And finally, really important one, if you are worried about something, you need to talk to other people. You need to tell somebody else how you're feeling, because they can make you feel better. And it might be mum or dad, it might be your friends, it might be your teachers, the adults who work in school with you, because it's okay to feel upset, or it's okay to feel a little bit worried or something. Don't worry about that, but talk to somebody about it. Right. So there we go, guys. Now, there's a little bit of information for you about the lockdown. So we're all going to stay at home, and we're going to be at school. We're going to work hard. We're going to help mums and dads. We're going to remember to wash our hands. Mums and dads, adults are going to wear face masks, and you might wear face masks too while you're out. And we're going to keep our space, keep our distance from everybody. And that means that there will be fewer people who will catch coronavirus. It means that the doctors and nurses and people who work in hospitals and places like that will be able to look after people who are really poorly, because there won't be as many of us. Okay? And we're all going to pull together to be part of that team. Now, I think you're all amazing. I think your teachers, all the adults who work in school, are absolutely amazing, because they look after you so well, they teach you all so well. And I think that we can really do this, and Wincham can really be part of that team effort to make everywhere a safer place. Okay, so I'm relying on all of you to do your best with that one. I'm sure that we can do it all together. So remember, help at home, think about your grown-ups, work hard and enjoy being in school, because your teachers have worked really, really hard to put together some amazing things for you to do. Look around you. Think, wow, what is there around me that's really, really amazing? What have I got? Those little small things could just be, oh, do you know what? That's a really nice glass of milk when you get home. Okay, so practice being grateful. Practice that meditation. Okay, practice your breathing, because it helps you to calm down and talk to other people. All right, I'll see you around school, guys. Bye-bye.